And here we go.
Oh my gosh, Trek Geeks is proud to have FanSets as our presenting sponsor. FanSets is the place for amazing pin collectibles with over 500 officially licensed Star Trek pins with new releases every month. Stay tuned for a special discount code that'll be good on your next order over there at fansets.com. Get there, go there now. FanSets, our pins have character.
Week on the ABC Sunday night movie. No, wait, still not that show. Not that show. Dan, why do you keep putting that on the copy? I feel like Ron Burgundy over here. Greetings to you and good Thursday night, everyone. Welcome to Trek Geeks, Thursday Night Geeks, presented by FanSets. I, of course, am Bill Smith, alongside the dandiest Dan of them all, Dan Davidson, live from the Northern Command in Maine. Buddy, how's it going?
It's going, man. How you doing? Great to see you, by the way. I've been under the weather for several days, but I'm ready to go tonight. Looking forward to the discussion, and it's good to see you as always. And we got a pretty big thing coming up, so I'm glad that we're doing this tonight.
You know, it's amazing. You know, I see you here on video. You say that that you've been under the weather. I mean, I believe it. You look like shit, but
well, thank you.
You are welcome. Of course, you know, we got a range of topics tonight. We're going to talk a little Lego, being the Lego files that we are. We're going to talk about Starfleet Academy. And we're going to talk about Trek Talks, which is upcoming on Saturday. I can't believe it's already, you know, time for the annual telethon, our 5th annual one, Dan.
It's amazing that this is the 5th one. It really has been incredible. Neither one of us ever thought that we would be doing this for 5 years, I don't think.
No.
And it's just been, the reception that we've got and the ability for the amazing team that we have to pull it off is just something that I'm very proud of to be a part of. I have a very small part of it, and I just watch all these other people do all incredible amounts of work to make this successful, and it's going to be another great show.
Well, tonight we actually have somebody who has done a massive amount of work for this telethon. And we're going to be joined by our dear friend Laurie from Trek Movie in just a little bit. But Dan, let's say hi to some of the Thursday Night Bridge crew. Of course, Ross is in the house. Good evening, Ross. I take it there's no basketball on tonight, so that's why he's here. Amy's here. It's good to see you, Amy. We love you. We miss you. Brad, of course, is in the house, so it is officially Thursday.
It is.
Burley is here. And, of course, Dan, our official ombudsperson of Thursday Night Geeks, Helen is here, so it is officially time for Thursday Night Geeks. Blake Strike from Australia is here. Friday Morning Trek. Yeah, I suppose it is Friday morning where he is. And someone did say Lego. And, of course, it's our resident sort of brickhead in the house, which I'm very excited by. Blake brings it because you guys dance during the intro, don't you? I wouldn't say dance. I sit here playing a massive amount of air drums, and Dan was playing guitar on his little batlet.
Batlet guitar, yes.
It looked more like a ukulele.
That's okay. Peter would be proud of that.
Yeah. Becky is here tonight. Hi, Becky. It's good to have you here. Of course, Mr. Aaron Harvey is here. Artist extraordinaire, creator of, well, let's see, just about everything that happens in the Trek space as far as art, whether it's the Trek Talks logo or the Trek Geeks logo or what have you. And just a whole bunch of people joining. So we're all excited you're here tonight. Dan, before we progress any further, what are you drinking?
While I'm telling everybody what I'm drinking, dude, just check your mic. I think you might be on the wrong mic. Just double check.
Oh, you think so?
You can.
Well, you start talking, and I'll figure it out.
Talking. I went old fashioned this week. I went with an old fashioned because A, it's really easy to make when you only have 5 minutes to get upstairs, so that's good. And B, you got me started on this. Your fault, pal. So I'm just gonna go with continuing to make them, continuing to drink them, and continuing to like them. So there you go.
Well, there you go. And in fact, my actual microphone is not showing in the platform tonight. So it looks like it's the camera microphone. Okay. Well, I'm going to move this out of the way then, since I really don't need it. Although I actually kind of like having it there. It's a bit of a crutch. I am drinking a very nice bourbon whiskey from Freeland Spirits, which is an all woman owned and operated distillery. It's a fantastic bourbon whiskey. Sorry for those of you who are purists. So, Solange to everyone. Here's to a good show. Dan, we're going to come back in about 20 seconds or so with Laurie. We're going to talk about some stuff up front. We'll probably start with Lego. So we want everyone to sort of stay right there. And eagle-eyed people will notice a bit of a change tonight in some of the graphics. We'll see if you pick it up. We'll be right back. What can I say? It looks good, doesn't it? Laurie's here. Hey, Laurie.
Hello. Hello.
It's awesome. It's amazing, Bill. We've talked about it a few times. I'll just say it right now. We got a very, very special friend join us, as you can see, Laurie. You've read her amazing articles. No, not you. No, come on. You've read her amazing articles over on trekmovie.com. You've heard her mellifluous tones over on All Access Star Trek podcast. And oh, by the way, she did just have a birthday this week, so happy birthday. But I got to tell you, Bill and I have always said that there are certain things that we've done for the podcast that are the best decisions that we've ever made. For example, getting the sisters to join the family was one of the best things that ever happened to Trek Geeks. And Laurie is another one. For the past 3 years, she's been an integral part of all things Trek Talks. Her passion and love for Trek comes through with every single discussion we have had on the planning team. And we are thrilled to welcome her to Thursday Night Geeks. Flubish herself, Laurie Ulster, thanks for joining us. It's coming to fruition in just a couple of days, Trek Talk 5, and you are such an important part of it, and we're so glad that we can have you here tonight to talk all about it.
Oh, thanks. Hi, everybody in the chat, and hi, Aaron Harvey, my friend.
Yes, friend to all Trekkies everywhere.
That's true.
Laurie, did you ever imagine your career would bottom out so much that you would appear on Trek Geeks?
And you can be honest.
It was on my list of things to avoid.
Yeah. Well, this is payback for all the times we've been on the Trek Movie podcast.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's...
If you've noticed on our podcast, we don't really have other podcasters on as guests.
Yeah, but, the creators of Trek Talks. Who are they, Dan? The creators of Trek Talks?
Oh, God, I don't know. Trek Geeks? Roddenberry?
That can't be right. It's got to be Roddenberry. It's got to be Roddenberry.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to be more like Mission Log.
Laurie, the first piece of feedback we ever got 11 years ago was, thanks, enjoyed your podcast, but you guys should be more like Mission Log. They're a great podcast. And that was like 2 or 3 episodes in, so we were still kind of finding our way.
Yeah, thanks for that useful and constructive comment.
Yeah. Of course, you saw Helen said hi, Laurie. Aaron says hi back. You edited Aaron's book? I didn't know that.
I was the copy editor. Well, here's the funny part about that is I was the copy editor, and actually that started my whole career in copy editing, which was great. But one page of the book didn't get to me, and it was the page with the credits for the people who worked on the book. So my name is spelled wrong in the book.
Oh.
But I have to say, it was a joy to read, a joy to edit, a gorgeous book, and I'm proud to have an association with it, despite having my name misspelled.
Well, on to bigger and better things. I mean, although it doesn't get much better than the official guide to the animated series. Like I said, you've come down a few notches. Welcome to reality. It's finally set in. But let's talk about, by the way, Aaron says it was fixed in the reprint.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, I need to get that then.
Yeah.
I only have the one with the mistake in it.
Yeah. And you need a signed copy. I'm gonna say.
I would hope.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I hope that we get to see Aaron at a convention in the future, because I'd love to bring mine with me so that I can get his autograph on it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a gorgeous book for anyone who doesn't have it. Gorgeous. Honestly, it's gorgeous. I just see one of the comments, which is excellent.
Helen says, which is worse, having your name is spelled in a book or Kate Mulgrew calling you Gloria? That is a great question.
Well, the best part about Kate Mulgrew calling me Gloria is that, first of all, she called me Gloria. There were two great things about it. One, the Hagemans, I saw them in Vegas, and as soon as they saw me, they said, "Hey, Gloria." So that was really nice.
That is amazing.
I have never put it on social media because I was asked not to, but I got Garrett Wong to record himself as Kate saying my name so I could pop it in wherever she said Gloria. And I have this whole video of me in hysterics trying not to laugh out loud and him going, "Oh, Laurie, your hair is so beautiful, Laurie, I want to be your friend." Like he just went, he ran with it.
That's awesome.
This is the kind of insight you only get on a podcast as low as Trek Geeks. The low end podcasters that Dan and I are. At least
it's not the Axe in our podcast, right?
There's an Axe in our podcast? Get out of here.
I don't know. They've been promising it for years, so maybe it's coming. I don't know.
Get the fuck out of here. That's amazing. Well, guys, let's talk about some business. There have been rumors coming up all over the web this week about a Star Trek Lego rumor. And unlike a lot of reports on social media, we actually have some images that were leaked by a YouTube channel called Brick Clicker. Now, this particular YouTube channel has been right with every single leak they've talked about over the past couple of years. I believe they have an inside source. And according to them this week, if you go to that YouTube channel and you click on the particular YouTube video, you'll see that they're saying that there is a Star Trek bridge diorama that is going to be offered, wait for it, this summer.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, see, now, I knew nothing of this. I've been off the internet this week, pretty much all week, because I've been feeling it. So when you mentioned to me that there was a Lego rumor that we were going to talk about, and I knew nothing about it, I know nothing about it. So this is all news to me.
Now, you would think that after a very successful TNG Enterprise release, it might be the TNG bridge, but nay, it is the TOS bridge.
Nice.
So, which is weird. I agree, it's a great choice. It's weird because Mega Bloks just did one about 8 or 10 years ago. So in a way, it feels like they're going back to the well a little bit. This is also a Star Trek Icons release, so it is still not yet known if there is actually a full license for Star Trek.
Okay.
When you see Star Trek Batman, it always says the Batman logo. It's not Icons. When you see Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, it's always that franchise, never Icons. So the fact that this one is Icons leads me to wonder if this is just a special drop for the 50th. Amy says she can replace all of Simon's Star Wars Legos, at least a couple of them for now. But what they also had were some under construction pics of some of the minifigs. Oh. And as you can see from this one, this is very obviously a Spock minifig that has been working on. They're sculpting the Vulcan ears. I've only seen this on the Brick Clicker YouTube page. I haven't seen this anywhere else. But clearly they've got a nice sculpt going on the hair. It's got the traditional Vulcan bowl cut, as I like to call it. The ear looks fantastic as we progress forth. The color isn't quite right on the tunic, but I imagine that's something that will get fixed over time. The back of the head looks pretty fantastic. They're also working on a red shirt, of course, because you have to have Scotty. I would imagine they're going to do the standard bridge crew and Scotty. I would hope they do Nomad or somebody like that, but maybe somebody a little different. But right now, that's the rumor.
That's pretty awesome. Do you think that one of the little circular hands on
Nomad?
Wait, I'm going to blow it up, Laurie. Hold on.
That's awesome.
There's Nomad.
That's good. I am Nomad. Do you think that the Scotty, one of the little hook hands, will be missing part of it?
No. Oh, God, that is so bad.
I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, it's amazing that for so long, Jimmy had a missing finger from World War II, and you can't see it in the show anywhere.
Right.
So every time I read about it, I always think it's kind of cool.
No, I agree. Aaron says a headless red shirt. That tracks.
These photos are like these weird spy cam inside the secret Lego cave like photos.
Yeah, these are actual leaks, allegedly from Lego itself. So
it's a whole amazing world.
Dan, first reactions.
First reaction is I'm pretty excited. Before I give my overall reaction, you said that Mega Bloks did this before. You meaning they did a bridge set, or are we talking the Enterprise?
No, we're talking the bridge set. I have it. I actually unpacked it. It was one of the first things I unpacked when I moved here to North Carolina.
Okay. I'm ecstatic. I think this is fantastic because we know that I don't know how big the Mega Bloks version is, but I know the Mega Bloks Enterprise behind me is gigantic.
Yeah.
I will bet you that this diorama is going to be very detailed. Of course, it's Lego, so I am very excited, and I think it's great that they're doing the TOS. It's the most iconic of the bridges, I think. It's the 60th anniversary. It makes perfect sense to do that. I'm glad they're not doing the Enterprise because, as I said, we got that one from 10 years ago from Mega Bloks. Give it a little time. We don't have the Enterprise D. Now we do.
Yeah.
But if they do decide to do a TOS Enterprise, I'm sure I'll get it. But I love the idea of a bridge diorama. That's cool. Very cool.
Laurie, I know you're not huge into Lego. I'm sure you have an appreciation of the medium.
I had many, many Lego years with my
did you
children.
really?
My children were, especially my son, like we had, besides stepping on Legos and cursing them all the time, we spent many, many fine times together building Lego things. And he was big into inventing. He would get kits and he would make the kit and then he would take it apart and just invent his own gigantic thing.
I actually got this one, just came in the mail 2 days ago.
Nice.
Lego. It's something, I'd cross the streams. I love decorating for Christmas. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do that gingerbread at. So there we go.
Love it.
Start doing that one pretty soon.
Is that it? I thought at first it was like the advent calendar. Is that really a full gingerbread?
No, it's a gingerbread at. It's supposed to look like a gingerbread with frosting and everything on. And it's Darth Vader. It's a gingerbread Darth Vader minifigure with a candy cane lightsaber. It's pretty cool. I gotta admit, I'm pretty excited. I can't wait to build it. It's only 700 pieces, so it's only gonna take a couple hours to do. So
I need a picture of it when it's all assembled.
I will
please.
do that. I'll probably
Likewise.
be getting the light kit for it too.
Oh, you have to. You have to. I can imagine that this Lego set's going to be at least $200. That's my guess. I don't know how. There's no count on pieces yet. There's no estimated price, but I can imagine it's going to be at least that. Simply just because it's the 60th anniversary and Paramount's going to want to make their nut. So, but that's just the way I feel about it. Will I get it? Of course I will. Will I wait months to build it like my Enterprise D? Yes. Mine's still in the box.
Is it?
I've only done the shuttlecraft, which is back there somewhere in my case. Interestingly, I just completely lost track of what I was going to say with regards to it. So hopefully it'll come back to me. Sorry about that.
Or hopefully not.
Your whole idea of it being in the box really got to me because mine is too, and I completely forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah. Well, let's change gears then, and let's talk about the not completely unexpected news of the week, and that is, of course, the Um, I'm going to choose this word very carefully because some people don't like the word. I'm going to use it because it's what it is. It's a cancellation of Starfleet Academy. It's not being renewed for a third season. In typical speak, that generally means it's canceled.
That's what a cancellation is.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I have always operated under. Laurie, that happened to be your birthday present from Paramount.
Yeah, I know it happened on my birthday, and I decided to just pretend it wasn't happening. And I just didn't respond to people who DM'd, emailed, posted, tagged, blah. I was like, nope.
I'm sure you had a much better day as a result.
I did.
No, I've seen, that, of course, Star Trek fandom is what it is. There are always those gatekeepers, those sort of negative naysayers who say essentially, well, there was a 20 episode order at the beginning and they never intended on doing any more. Was there really a 20 episode order, do you know, or was it just the first 10?
There was the first 10, but they got the second block super fast.
Yeah.
But they certainly have planned to do more because it ends on a cliffhanger, season 2.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Tony talked to the showrunners like before the cancellation was announced, like a while ago. And he said, oh, did you end season 2 so that it could also be a series finale just in case? And they said, no, actually, it doesn't really end definitively. And then when he interviewed them again, he said, so is it a cliffhanger? And they said, yes.
I wonder if they'll refilm like they did with Discovery to wrap it up. Who knows?
I doubt it.
I'll tell you what.
It's money. That's the problem.
I know it does, but I kind of hope it does because lately Sue and I have been watching TV shows that we love, and then the season ending episode is on, and for 3 series that we've watched in a row, season 2, the last episode ended on a cliffhanger, and the series was not renewed. So that's so frustrating.
So this kind of brings us to the first time in about a decade where there's been no Star Trek actively planned to be in production. And I'm here to tell you guys, that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, we have there's a bunch left, not a bunch, but there's some left to air. So that'll make it feel a little bit extended.
True.
But we went through this crazy phase of there were 5 shows going at one point at the same time. And that felt like, how could this ever have, I never would have predicted that. And then to see it all just sort of dwindle down to nothing. And especially this show, which I really feel like they learned lessons from every live action show that came before it of this era, applied them and created this great thing. And that's the one that gets canned.
It's amazing because before it ever premiered, neither Dan nor I had any interest in it whatsoever. I figured it was going to be, 90210 or whatever in space, Melrose Place in space, whatever. And just watching it, it was immediately apparent that it wasn't that. I rather enjoyed it quite a great deal. I became a fan. Yeah, there were some things that were just like, all right, fine, whatever. But I do that with all the Trek shows anyway.
I was going to say, isn't that something you do with every Trek? Aren't there moments in all of them where you're just like, oh, God.
Yep. Yeah, it's Bill hit the nail on the head. We talked about it several times that I was not looking forward to it at all. I hated the idea of it being in the Discovery future because I thought that the whole idea of Discovery going to the future was a complete cop-out. So when they decided to do it from that, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to like this. I was not looking forward to it. Literally, I was not looking forward to a new show. And it blew my expectations out of the water from the get-go. I loved the show. I thought the end of the season was weaker than the beginning and middle of the season, but I still enjoyed it tremendously. And I'm just very sad that we are not going to see my man, Paul Giamatti, for the foreseeable future again as Noose Braca, because he was phenomenal in that role, one of my all-time favorite Trek villains, and bummer.
Yeah, he's not in season 2.
He's not in season 2 at all. Yeah. So
unless
they do something down the road, that's it. 4 episodes.
Yeah, that really sucks. And Laurie, I gotta give you credit. You told me I was gonna love it. In no uncertain terms. And I did.
It really has like that. it has a Star Trek vibe. It has a 90s Star Trek vibe. It has a 60s Star Trek vibe, and it has a modern era Star Trek vibe. Like somehow I feel like sure they had some things here and there that I could make fun of or roll my eyes at, but I mean, in Holly Hunter, I've been such a fan of for so many decades. My God. So that's just a coup. But they pulled it all together, and I think they had the time to write this one, which there were times because of other incidents that they couldn't put the level of work into writing a season, layering things in, making sure that themes are being echoed throughout an episode, which is when Star Trek at its best, is when there's sort of a theme in the episode, and it's in every story that's going on, no matter how strongly they're connected. So, and all the actors were fantastic, and the writing was great, and it looked great. What can I say?
You know, as I consider the possible future for Star Trek, I really have less confidence that we'll see it anytime soon, simply just because of the fact that the Ellisons own Paramount now for all intents and purposes. You know, their first job is to make money for the shareholders. Right. That is the job of every CEO. You know, for any publicly traded company, anything less than that is a sort of an abrogation of those responsibilities, and the shareholders can get rid of them otherwise. But they usually don't make things that lose money. And I have a hard time believing they're going to want to spend that much in the short term for a brand new Star Trek series. Am I crazy?
Let's be honest. Has any Star Trek movie or TV show lost them money? Because I can pretty much say the answer is probably not. It's always made money. Even Nemesis probably made them money, which is just a horrendous, pitiful excuse for a Star Trek movie. But I bet you that still made a profit. I'll have to pull it up and check. But I don't think Star Trek is an area where Paramount has to worry about not pulling in the green. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's, you know, ROI, as they say, but they put in a lot. And I think that my guess is that it's movies. They're going to go to the movies, put TV on a pause, and figure out what they want to do with movies. And I think they also told us they have several movies in development or, you know, for consideration, not just the one that we've heard about. So I think that's what they're going to do. And to me, that's Star Trek movies and Star Trek TV are actually different, really different.
Yeah.
Very. I mean, in our era, and movies have a different audience, and movies it's hard to tell a really good Star Trek story in a movie. And I think the reason a lot of those really early ones work is because we didn't have to get to know all those people.
Yeah.
We knew them already.
Right. Looking right now, I did a quick Google search, and I stand corrected. It looks like Nemesis did not turn a profit. It was made with a production budget of $60 million and only made, and this is incredible to think of it, only made 67. So even though it shows a profit with all the marketing and production costs, it lost money. So I stand corrected. Sorry. So 1 out of 14. Come on, Paramount.
Well, how did Beyond? Beyond wasn't a huge.
It underperformed massively.
Yeah.
Which was why I think they wanted to pay Pine and Hemsworth a lot less, even though they'd already contracted them. So hard saying, but I think they're going to reboot the whole damn franchise. Yeah. And that's going to make the canon purists' heads explode even more.
Yep. So it looks like Beyond had $185 million budget, which is incredible when you think that Nemesis was 60. And it grossed $343 million worldwide, but marketing cost a lot. So it only made a
even though we never saw any of it, the marketing.
Yeah, I know, right?
I remember being like, I'm in New York. Where's all the marketing? And it sure wasn't in New York.
Well, and they had a whole bunch of foreign investment on Beyond too. There you go, Blake, to defray some of that cost. You know, I mean, they had, you know, all kinds of investment from people outside the United States, and it still underperformed. So I think that it's going to be a long road back to television. You know, Larry Nemeczek usually refers to it as the fallow times. And I think we're headed to part 2 of that, at least on TV.
Agreed. I think so too. Well, but at least now we have over 800 and something episodes to tide us over until the next iteration. Right?
Yeah, way to go, Paramount. I've seen so many people say they're canceling their Paramount Plus this week. You know, I'm not stunned. I am proud a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Because Paramount Minus hasn't been working with us for a while to give us things. So I really don't care what they think of us at this point. It's probably dangerous to say right before Trek Talks, but I'm beyond giving a fuck. So we're not going to have to worry about dealing with Paramount PR for a while.
Right.
So
I'm glad Blake caught it. I almost said something, but I didn't.
Here's the thing about Star Trek on TV and Paramount Plus, though, which is people don't subscribe to it's not a successful streamer. And so this, as much as I think all this merging stuff is actually terrible for entertainment and the world and our souls and everything else, the only positive would be when you can start putting Star Trek in a place where people are already going. That's how you will get new people watching it.
Yep.
I don't think we're going to see it on regular TV, whether it's cable or OTA, ever again in our lifetimes. That's always every gatekeeper's answer. We'll put it on TV. It'll succeed. No, quite honestly, it won't. It has a budget that's way too big for conventional television or cable.
Yep.
And Enterprise's viewership declined every year to the point where Paramount considered it a failure, even though it was pulling the same numbers as Battlestar Galactica on Sci-Fi, which was a huge hit. So, well, now that we've killed the party, what do you say we do some business with America? Laurie, we're going to send you back to the green room for a bit. Dan and I are going to do a little business with America. And then after that, we'll come back and we'll talk about Trek Talks.
All right.
It'll be a good time. So
bye.
Bye. Y'all stay there. We'll be right back. Of course, I had to show the Paramount bumper. I mean,
I love it.
That just makes sense. Dan,
yes,
here we are. It's Thursday night, and that, of course, means time to talk about our dear friends at FanSets, the presenting sponsors of pretty much everything Trek Geeks has done in the last 10 years, including this year fine webcast.
I totally agree, and we would not have it any other way. I know I speak for you when I say that. Another week, another moment to thank the best team in the business. I say it every time we live stream. Over 500 officially licensed pins. New stuff coming out at least twice a month. And they got new stuff now. You can head right over to fansets.com and check it out. Like the newest micro crew pin is now available. It is the badass and awesome Lieutenant Ortegas from Strange New Worlds right there. And all of her beauty piloting the Enterprise, as we love to see it so much. Also, the latest from the Memento Mori collection, where you can now get the singular pins. The USS Excalibur Remembrance Day pin is now available. And here we go. Number 2 and probably 60 or 70 of them, buddy. 2 weeks, 2 new Starfleet Academy Deltas. Last time it was the command version. This week, it's the beautiful Cadet Delta for the command track. I love the red. I love how awesome it looks. I love that it's available in pin and magnet form. And I love that you can get it and all the other pins we talk about right now over at fansets.com.
You really can. I mean, obviously you can still get this captain's pin, which I think is fantastic. Yeah. Dan, you can get all of these pins. Every single one of them, put them in your cart. And then you know what? At checkout, use the special discount code word Trek Geeks that you see here on your screen for 10% off your entire order. Not just Star Trek stuff. Any of the pins that FanSet sells or accessories or even gift cards, you'll get 10% off your next order. And of course, Dan, when you order more than $30 on fansets.com, you get what?
Bag of cats. Free shipping.
I'm sorry. I want to go back to your first answer. Did you say a bag of cats?
Cats, yes.
I have serious concerns about your mental health. Free shipping.
Free shipping is what I meant to say. I don't know where that came from.
I don't know either. Now I'm completely lost because I don't have any copy in front of me. So you should take it away there, Wanda.
FanSets. Our pins, they have character. And we thank our friends at FanSets for being the presenting sponsor of Thursday Night Geeks.
Now, Dan, while we still have the FanSets graphic back up, I'm going to call it Crazy Ivan, and we are going to drop a massive hint that in the coming days, we are going to have a huge announcement for Las Vegas.
Big announcement.
If you can put 2 and two together, you will figure it out. But let's just say there's a return that is imminent for the Vegas Con, and we're going to make it happen this year after people asking us year after year if we're going to do another one. So
Casey Shafsky's going to be there?
it's
not that big. Sorry.
Nothing could be that big.
No, I know, right? Good Lord.
I mean, what are you thinking, man? But yeah, if you are used to going to Vegas, you're used to buying stuff from FanSets, you're used to some of the things that go on during convention week, keep an eye on our social media because a big announcement is coming very soon. So with that, we are going to be right back in a second, and we're going to talk about what, Dan?
Trek Talks 5.
Trek Talks 5. Be right back.
Dude, that was awesome.
And why isn't Laurie showing up? There she is. Hi, Laurie.
Hello.
This is what happens when we are just running amok and we're drinking all night long. So, yeah, here we are to talk about Trek Talks 5 this Saturday, March 28th at 9:45 a.m. Pacific. I got that right, unlike the other night on Sci-Fi Sisters. 12:45 p.m. Eastern, and y'all can figure out the time zones in between and flyover country. Laurie, you had a massive hand in sort of figuring out some of this content. And I want to be, candid and say I greatly appreciate everything you did this year because you saved my ass. You have, along with the input from others, but you have managed to put together a fantastic slate of things. And I am very excited for this weekend.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you. It's such a huge group effort, though. And I mean, booking, look, Yvette from the Sci-Fi Sisters, I keep calling her the booking whisperer, but like the talent whisperer, because she just, so, okay, let me see what I can do. And I'm like, wow. So, I mean, she's doing a lot of magic there. But the truth is, it's actually the most rewarding task I could put myself on that I could possibly think of, because our cause is really important. And then the show I'm creating a show I want to watch. So that's fun. And we're all putting it together. And I used to be a TV producer, and this is easier than that. So
now, for those who don't know, you actually worked on the Matt and Myra hosted, what was it, After Trek?
Yep.
That must have been quite the experience.
It was. I was the supervising producer, and that was I had left TV. I was in digital doing websites. And that was my triumphant return to TV, because how could I not? So yeah, it was Discovery's launch. So new era of Star Trek starting, which I'd never thought was possible. I had a friend who briefly worked on Discovery, but when Brian Fuller left, they got rid of my friend shortly thereafter. But I had been on one of the sets. But just being there while they were creating the show, like they were sending us my very first day, I walked in and sat down and they showed us the pilot, the first episode.
Oh, wow.
That was the first order of everybody's first day at work. And I was like, this is the best job ever. And there were little captain's log notebooks in front of all of our seats. And we were all like, squeeze. So everybody was a fan of something, of some Star Trek thing. And then, I mean, we would get these scripts in and we would get the somewhat rough cuts, like the, decent cuts. And I would email the writers and ask them all the questions I had that were things I think we'd want to talk about. And they would send me long, fantastic, detailed answers about everything that we asked about. We would see hilarious footage before the effects were in, or certain replaced effects. I will say one particular episode where I saved the horrible screenshot of the bad thing. But,
is that the one where Michael Burnham's phaser is backwards?
No, it is so... I mean, I can say what it is, right?
Yeah, you can now.
Appropriateness means nothing here on this show.
Yeah. So it's first season where they go to that planet. It's called Pavo. Where Saru loses his sphere for a while. And you know how the aliens were like these blinky light things? Well, originally it was a guy in a suit. And it looked really like a really bad. And when I saw it, I was like, I can't believe this is in the episode. It didn't say temporary place. It was, and then I guess everybody looked at it and was like, we can't.
Was it as bad as a lawyer in a shower curtain?
It was like, like original series Gorn-esque in its movement. Perhaps.
That's amazing.
Anyway, so it was bad. So stuff like that, but also being able to talk to like Mario, who made all the props, and set designers and costume designers, and they sent us stuff and we had the props, and every day I'd sneak into the back room and take the phaser and the communicator and play with them and then put them back and take the tricorder and rock around. And I mean, how could I not? They were, set props. So
I gotta say, that's one of the things that I really appreciated when Discovery was first coming out, because we got to see this in Vegas when we went to the convention, and then they had the displays, like the museum type of walkthrough. The level of detail on stuff like uniforms and on equipment, where they would have like miniaturized deltas to make patterns and stuff like that.
Well,
I've always really appreciated what they
I'm
have done.
gonna tell you, dude, I kind of think that's not where they should have spent some of their money.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Like every time I saw the uniform and they would be like, we had this bespoke material 3D printed in Australia and flown in by special courier. And then they would describe whatever the thing was that they'd done, this thing they had specially built and whatever. And then you'd see it on screen and it just went by really fast. And there's not a close up. And you're just thinking, I don't know, man, better ways to spend your money.
Well, on that note, speaking of money, I'm going to tie it back in. This is going to be like a big market segue, right? We want to raise a lot of it this weekend. Look at that. I did it. I brought us back to center after taking us off the rails. Sorry. It's my fault. No, I did it. It's all me. So Laurie, when you were going through and you say you try to create a show you want to watch, what does that mean for you? What is it that draws your interest as a fan?
One thing I love, which I think we all love, are the episode. I love just hearing everybody who worked on an episode talking about it, is because we've all seen those episodes 7,000 times.
Yeah.
So, it's like I don't need to hear a podcast, for example, about some show that I just watched once and that's good. But Star Trek's different. But also putting interesting people together so that I can hear them talk to each other, like Gates McFadden and Tawny Newsome together. Just the two of them. And I know they've done a podcast and whatever, but this is a more targeted conversation, I think. And it can be whatever they want it to be. Honestly, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, let's go through the slate of what we have scheduled for Saturday. For those who don't know, you can head out to trektalks.net and see the full list. But we're going to talk a little bit about each panel, almost like we did on Sci-Fi Sisters the other night. Of course, Yvette says donate, and she's perfectly correct to say so.
100%.
Yeah. Yvette, if you want to join us, let me know.
We can throw you in here real fast.
Very fast.
Yes.
So let me present ye old screen. And up first, of course, is the pre-show. We have a different set of hosts this year for the pre-show, which is kind of exciting. It's kind of different, but it certainly brings a different vibe to the house. You notice we've got Robin Trex, who's big on social media. We've got Dr. Anne Marie from the Seventh Rule. We got Matthew Jennings, who is just a wonderful, wonderful guy from 1701, A Blurred Story. Also, if you watch For All Mankind, he was in the very first shot of last season. So when the camera, opens on the first scene of that season, whatever, episode 1, the first person you see is Matthew, and it's a tracking shot through the station. It's awesome. And then, of course, hosted by the amazing Ryan T. Husk from the Seventh Rule, who is flashing his blue steel right there. I got to say, Dan, this is a pretty solid pre-show.
Yeah,
it really is. It's great to have the involvement. That's one of the things that you asked Laurie about. What is it that you like? A show of what you want to see. I agree with everything Laurie said. One of the other things that I would add is, from a person who's been behind the scenes on this, seeing the level of passion that all of the people that are involved in being on the show, the stars, the people in the pre-show, the podcasters, all the guests that we have on, the passion that they show for wanting to raise money for Hollywood Food Coalition is one of the things that I appreciate most about this event, because it's great to raise money, but it's really great to see the people are really behind it. And a lot of these people work in Hollywood, right down the street from where the Hollywood Food Coalition is based. So they're familiar with it. And when you have people like John Billingsley who come up with the ideas of taking all of that extra food that is in at the studios during a shooting day and then doing something with it positive, is one of the benefits of having an organization like Hollywood Food Coalition. So this is a hell of a way to kick it off. I'm going to miss our darling sisters, but or sisters, excuse me. But this is fantastic, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, this is such a great development. Obviously, having the Sci-Fi Sisters the last few years was sort of rarefied air for all of us.
Yeah.
It set such a great vibe for the rest of the show. But this is a stellar lineup. The Seventh Rule is a lot of fun. Matthew is fantastic. Robin is great. I know that she's, not usually on microphone. I was chatting with her earlier today, and I just told her we are all so grateful that she's doing it. The goal is just to have fun, because that's what the day is about. So,
absolutely.
Anne Marie is my baby.
Oh,
we are good friends.
Love
yes.
Anne Marie.
I love Anne Marie. So
she's very dull, though. She's not exciting at all.
Yeah, she has no energy.
So reserved.
No
I think
vim,
is the
no
word
vigor.
I use. Yeah, kind of meh. It's someday she's going to learn to come out of her shell if she ever sees this.
If only.
I know Seventh Rule, I think, goes live tonight. Is that right? Is tonight Seventh Rule night?
Yeah, it is Seventh Rule night.
Okay.
Yeah, Thursdays usually are. Yeah.
They're probably very busy ignoring us, and I can't blame them. So
hey, they've actually been doing a great job plugging Trek Talks.
They have, and
they talk about it a lot, and yeah.
I joke and jest, and of course, Sirach has a pivotal role this year, which we'll get to in a little bit. This is a fantastic panel. We started talking about Vulcans and how they are kind of pivotal to the whole Star Trek universe in the beginning, and I can't think of 4 more joy-filled people to have on a panel about Vulcans, Laurie.
Yeah, perfect. It's perfect. You're the one who suggested the moderator, which was a fantastic choice.
Charlene, for those who used to listen to Trek FM and listen to The Journey, she's a diehard Voyager fan. That's where I developed my appreciation, but Charlene is fantastic. But her and Robin,
I know, so enthusiastic. And also, this is 3 smart, vibrant people.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're powerhouses when it comes to Vulcans. So I think it's just incredible that the 3 of them, probably never happened before, where the 3 of them exclusively sitting down to talk about being Vulcan. You're not going to find that anywhere else. And those are just 3 humongous names. 4 great names for this entire panel. But I can't wait to. I'm sure Robin Curtis is not going to say anything that we're all going to be like, what? It's just so much fun.
She is such a delight, just as a human. It's hard, to watch or talk to Robin and not instantly fall in love with her, because she is just so filled with joy. And that's really, she is sunshine personified, I think is what I said back when we had her on. And she's just, the 3 of them together, Tim, Gabrielle, and Robin, is going to be just such a great pairing. You will never see this at a convention.
No, I don't think you will at all. Yep. This is fantastic. This is really great.
Robin once rescued me when I kind of humiliated myself in the green room at the Voyager documentary screening, where I was trying to graciously get out of the way so that Kate Mulgrew and Terry Farrell and Ethan Phillips and whoever else I was trying to impress wanted to. I was like, "Oh, I'll get up so they can have the couch." And Terry was like, "Oh, would you mind?" I was like, "No problem." And as I tried to be all suave, and my foot caught on the table, and the table went jerked across the room, and I almost fell, and it was like this horrible, everybody's looking and it's terrible. And then Robin just kind of swoops in and starts talking to me about all the embarrassing things that have happened to her, and I just hung out with her and watched the movie next to her, and we were friends for the rest of the evening. So
That's awesome.
I owe her one.
That is fantastic. I love it. So that, if you tune in early, you'll see this panel in the earlier side. The order in which the panels are presented are kind of the way it's going tonight. Up first, of course, will be Eugene Roddenberry and Ornally Ray, who's the executive director of the Hollywood Food Coalition. They usually kick off the show with John and also with Bonnie Gordon, and then Being Vulcan happens pretty much right after that. So let's move on to the next one in the slate, and that is Trials and Tribulations 30th anniversary. I can't believe it's been 30 years, quite frankly.
30 years. Because they were celebrating the 30th year of the original series.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blown away by it.
An amazing tribute too. So this is going to be another fantastic discussion.
Yeah.
Of course, it's going to be too bad that Terry, Dan, nor Ira are going to get more than 3 words in, but that's okay because our good friend Dr. Larry Nemechek is being the moderator, but that's okay.
Well, go ahead, Laurie.
I was just going to say, was he? I believe he was on set for some of that. Like, I think he actually, is a good contributor to this panel as well. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great discussion.
Honestly, when Ira starts telling a story, Larry might not get a word in edgewise. And I think if we were smart, we'd start a betting pool in the green room to see who actually has more mic time, with the proceeds going to Hollywood Food Coalition, of course.
I like that
for
idea.
sure. But do you know what? So Terry's been doing the Delta Flyers for a while now.
She has.
And she's terrific on it. And so I feel like she is now very comfortable sitting in front of a mic, looking at a screen, talking to people. And if she has something to say, and she does have a lot to say about this episode, she's going to say it.
Good.
And so I hope Dan gets a word in, I guess.
Well, we're grateful to have all 3 of these folks joining us again. They've all joined us before on Trek Talks. It is such a happy day when we get, repeat guests. And this is going to be a fantastic panel for sure. Yeah. Up next, guys, the one that Laurie happened to mention earlier, and her famous sort of Wilson Phillips album cover pose of Gates McFadden and Tawny Newsome. And is it that there's no moderator, or Gates is moderating? Which one is it, Laurie?
It's no moderator. I mean, the truth is, who knows? So we had a write-up of what we thought it would be. We sent it to them. They said yes. They didn't ask for specifics. They didn't tell us. So they're going to do what they're going to do. But there was an idea behind it, and we'll see. I think it doesn't matter because it'll be great.
I hate to cover you up, Laurie, but Yvette says Gates.
Oh, okay. Well, that was in the original plan. So great.
And since, Gates hosts a podcast and so does Tawny, either of them could do it. I think that really this has the ability to be the craziest time, simply just because the X factor of the 2 of them getting together and just talking about stuff. I think it's going to be wildly fun, quite frankly.
The thing I most hope they will talk about is, because Tawny has gone from actress to writer, which is a pretty unusual path in Star Trek. And because she didn't just write an episode, like writer in the, writer's room. And then I look at Gates' history, where she started out by speaking up to the writers, was fired, and then eventually got to come back and do Picard, where the showrunner sat down with her and said, let's talk about what you want to do with this character. So things have changed. And I just feel like they could have a really meaty discussion about all of that.
Absolutely.
Yep. I think the woman power in this specific panel is going to be off the charts. That's one of the things that's so important, especially now with what we see going on in the United States all the time. All of these things seem to be being taken away. These are 2 powerful women that are going to knock it out of the park in this. And I think that them, as well as all the other ones that we have set up for the day, are really going to showcase how important they are in the Star Trek universe. And I am very much on board with that one.
Amen. I couldn't have said it better. And I'm amazed that Dan was able to say it well at all, quite frankly.
Well done,
Dan.
Dan.
You know what? The dog shines on the sun twice a day. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's so quick tangent for those of you in the audience. One of my favorite phrases when somebody gets something right after well is, every now and then the sun shines on the dog's ass.
Yes.
And my wife decided to try to use that one day. And I had done something and I hadn't, forgotten to do it time after time. And I finally did it. And then she said, "Hooray, you're a dog's asshole."
I told you that.
What she had meant to say was, "Hey, the sun shines on a dog's ass. Great job." So every now and then when we want to celebrate the other one, we'll go, "You're a dog's asshole. Nice job."
You're like, "Thanks, honey."
Yeah. So y'all can take from that what you will. Dan, you'll notice that this panel has an extra special moderator.
I see that.
It is, in fact, the one and only Laurie Ulster, fashionably ensconced with some Foster Grants.
I know.
And a wonderful photo of herself. And she happens to be talking to a Star Trek power couple.
Just a couple, just a power couple, Voyager, a couple awesome directors, a couple of awesome Voyager. Oh my God, this is great. And if I'm not mistaken, is this not Roxanne's first time joining us on Trek Talks?
It is.
It is. So that's fantastic in itself. To be able to get some thoughts from her about her time in front of and behind the camera, and what she's done since then. This is I'm just like blown away by what we've got going on. And you can't ask for a better host on this one. Yes, I am blown.
I will say I did actually buy those sunglasses in Paris.
Nice.
Okay, then.
So
you got a little bit of couture going on there. I like this.
A little, sure. That's a
Robbie
nice
looks very
word
concerned in that picture. He's like, am I really
It's actually but
that's a screen grab.
Yeah, from his it is.
You think Mr. Director would have a headshot? No.
I went looking everywhere. Here's what I want to say about Robbie, and I have to keep saying I want to echo this everywhere because I emailed Robbie and 3 other Star Trek actors and had an idea for a panel, and the others were understandably busy and had all done stuff for us before. And so normally where I would push and say it's only an hour and whatever, I was like, please don't worry about it. Thank you all. You've all helped us out so much in the past. Thank you. And he wrote back and said, it would be my honor to do something for the Hollywood Food Coalition.
Wow.
So, and I'm free that day. So tell me what you need. And then when we came back and said, well, how about you and Roxanne? And he was like, oh, that's a great idea. And then we had to say, so can you ask Roxanne? And then because we don't know how to ask Roxanne. And he did, and he booked her, and it was just done. And
awesome.
And in fact, I always email panelists before just to say, sometimes when you have a question you want to ask someone that they can't come up with the answer right, like they need to think about it. And so I sent them one particular question that I was like, if you could just think about this. And then he wrote back and stressed that he just wants to make sure that we connect the dots of the Hollywood Food Coalition and sort of the Star Trek philosophy.
That's
and I'm
incredible.
Like, I love you, dude. Like,
that's what I was talking about a few minutes ago. Their passion for this, that's a great example of the passion that they have to help other people. That's great.
And they've both become, stellar directors in their own right, working with some amazing franchises. So I think you're going to have a fantastic conversation, Laurie.
They both have huge ongoing careers. So there's a lot to get into. And Yvette, yes, there's no hat.
There's no hat. Thankfully, Robbie's
I'm
not wearing a hat.
Next year I'm going to try to do without the sunglasses.
See, I thought she was talking about Robbie because half of his photos have a hat on.
Yeah.
But yes, for Laurie, at least there's no hat.
Last year was a hat.
I'm slow and I've had bourbon, so don't mind me. I'm just going to be over here in the corner. Moving on, this is a really special panel. Yeah. Laurie, was this your idea?
Yes.
So
I feel like this is my baby.
Walk us through kind of how this came to your mind and then kind of putting it together.
This panel honestly was inspired by Fred Brownson because we had him on our podcast and he was telling us stories of spending time with Gene. Fred had been a publicist at NBC. He wrote an episode of the animated series and he wrote a Next Gen episode and was around talking to Gene a lot during the first season of Next Gen. And he's telling us all these stories. So it's the 60th anniversary. What do you do that's special? Well, the people, it's Gene, but it's also Majel, who was a big part of things in a lot of ways. And so, of course, we're going to have Rod because he's a huge supporter of the Hollywood Food Coalition and our efforts. And so I wanted Marina Sirtis because I know she was really close to Majel, and she also generously was like, I can't do this, but you have me next year. for next gen anniversary.
Good.
So
Okay.
yeah. But we got Denise Crosby, Will
Nice.
Wheaton, obviously people who were there, and then Ernie Over was Jean's driver and personal assistant, and then Majel's personal assistant, and says he was a member of the household for 8 years.
Wow.
So, and then if you said to me, okay, now you've got all these people, who's the most perfect person to moderate this conversation?
So obviously you didn't pick the right person.
Yeah.
It's
pick some schmo.
It's the John Champion.
Of course, he has to have the tux on because it's John Champion.
Right. He's got to have a great photo. You can't see the martini glass he's holding out. Like, come drink with me, friends.
He is. Yeah, that's
yeah, that's great.
This is going to be a great one. I'm so glad that Will is joining us again. He joined us in year one at a sort of a pre-tape where he and David Livingston went to the very first shooting location for Next Gen. And of course, Denise has joined us a couple of times. She's always so great to join us. Excited to hear from Ernie and from Fred. And that Rod guy's okay. So,
well, I think what John was saying the other night, I think on the Sci-Fi Sisters show, is that like Rod is excited to hear stories. Like he just wants to hear everybody else tell stories.
Yeah.
And I get it. And I wanted this to be I know, look, there's a lot about Jean we all know about, and there's a time and a place, and this is going to be a sweet, lovely discussion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
for sure. For those of you who are looking at the clock, we are going to run over. We're okay with it because we're talking about Trek Talks. If you have to go watch Seventh Rule or some other podcast that's not as cool as us tonight, we understand. No, I kid. I love Seventh Rule. I'm just kidding. Laurie, this is another one of your babies, and I think you probably put this one together just so you could see it.
Well, it had other advocates. Big advocates in our group, like Ashley and Heather. And in fact, when I abandoned all hope, Heather was the one who was like, no, everybody needs a little joy. So I got to give her credit. But yes, when it became apparent, I mean, we tried the cast.
Yep.
But these songwriters are so, here I'm going to go. You wound me up. The songwriters are so fun to talk to. They put so much thought and work into every moment of every song. The director is the same. He also did that Flash Supergirl crossover musical that I am just as obsessed with. So, and he was, by the way, a child actor in Disney movies.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
So
I didn't know that either.
And they were all instantly replied yes. And then icing on the cake, Yvette's special magic sprinkles, and we got Melissa Navia to moderate.
Wow.
Yvette really is the guest whisperer. Without Yvette, we'd have a very thin bench this year.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And Wanda has a great comment. Perfect panel. Of course, Ortegas is the only character that doesn't have a song in that episode, I think.
She has a few lines. She has a few. And I mean, we should have called the panel Ortegas is at the helm because that's what she sings. And there you go.
Right. One of the things that I love what you just said, Laurie, is we're so used to seeing the people that are in front of the camera doing the action, singing the songs and everything like that. To hear the enthusiasm that Tom, Kay, and Dermot have shown to be part of this is really important because we don't sing I don't think general society praises these people enough, because if it wasn't for these people, we wouldn't be seeing anything on the screen to begin with. So I think it's great that we're going to be able to give them the recognition that they deserve, and I'm sure they're going to have some amazing stories for making that episode.
They do. They have fantastic stories.
Yeah.
Initially, I think we wanted to do a sing-along, but that was going to get us into copyright problems because we didn't have a license to perform the songs from Subspace Rhapsody. But this to me is an even better thing. So I'm looking forward to this one big time, even though I could take or leave the episode.
They're going to start charging me for the amount of times I just play the songs in my head.
Oh, okay. Then.
If Spotify can figure out a way to do it, they will.
Yeah.
Next up, this is a fantastic panel, especially in today's day and age with what's going on here in the United States. The Voyager episode Critical Care. Laurie, you love to pitch episode panels. It's one of my favorite things about the ideas that you bring up. And this one has the perfect moderator and our sister Tamia from Sci-Fi Sisters. but we've got the writer of the episode, Ken Miller. We've got the doctor who plays the most pivotal role in that episode, and then Dr. Elizabeth Hudson, who is I believe she's the chief epidemiologist for Kaiser Permanente in Southern California. Is that right? Do I have that right?
Yvette's going to tell us. She's also an infectious disease specialist, and she's
disease.
Also got the most impressive resume you could imagine. And for this, and is a huge Trekkie, huge Trekkie.
Yeah. So I love the fact that they're going to Yvette. Yes. So there. I know her full title's on trektalks.net, that amazing website that somebody threw together. I love that we're going to talk about the real world ramifications of this episode, especially today. So I think that this is going to be a really special discussion. And then to have Bob Picardo, who is himself another guest whisperer for this telethon.
Yes.
Bob was able to extend his email and invite so many folks to come join us on Saturday that it's really kind of amazing. But this is one that's you should be proud of this one, Laurie. This was a fantastic idea.
Yeah, I mean, this was again a group effort because it was Yvette who knew exactly the right expert for it, and of course we all knew the right moderator for it. But also it ties into the Hollywood Food Coalition in a really strong way, because one thing that they do is if you come in and you are having meals there and they can get to know you and feel that it's okay, they then approach people who might need medical care, because we all know that people are priced out. You can't afford. Even if you can afford it, you can't afford it because it's just impossible, right?
Yeah.
Like we have an impossible system right now that is denying many people the health care that they need and deserve. And the Hollywood Food Coalition does do their part to try and help. So I just think there's a strong connection there. There's connective tissue.
That makes me think of, I think it was in season 1 of Trek Talks, Bill, and remind me and correct me if I'm wrong, but there was one interstitial that was extremely powerful, and it kind of was on that. It was about a gentleman who had some eye issues. They did get him some help, and that was one of the most powerful videos of the entire day for that first year. I think it was so powerful we showed it in year 2, if I remember correctly. But yeah, and it's a great tie-in to what we're doing here this weekend.
Yeah, this one's going to be a fantastic panel. I hope everybody watches the whole telethon for it, as is this one. Not only is it the 60th anniversary of Star Trek and the 30th anniversary of Trials and Tribulations and Star Trek First Contact, it is also the 25th anniversary of Star Trek Enterprise later this year. And, we've had cast members on before. We've had the boys, we've had Linda Park, we've had Scott Bakula. Really, the only thing we haven't done is had a whole bunch of writers on to sort of talk about the genesis of that show. And Laurie loves her writers. And Laurie, you made the moderator suggestion for this one. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Diana?
Diana, this is funny because I met Diana when during COVID, when all of the interviews for all the Star Trek shows were in these it was all virtual green rooms and it was all Zooms. And so you could spend quite a bit of time in those virtual green rooms. And I met Diana in one of those green rooms, and we became friends and started talking and helping each other with interviews, like with access or resources and stuff like that. Like we'd help her, she'd help us. And she's a writer. And then I started recommending her to podcasters I know, and she started guesting. And I was like, oh, her questions are intelligent and insightful, but fun. And she does a lot of research. She's very intelligent, but she also has a great sense of fun. And I was like, she's the perfect person to approach this show, which has it has a very complicated production story as well as the actual stories it was trying to tell. And I just was like, she's she can do this. She's not as convinced as I am. She's a little nervous. She's like me when you guys gave me my first panel. And I was like, I think you're crazy.
I bristle at the notion of the word gave. We didn't give you anything. You demonstrated that you are more than ready, and it was the easiest decision for the team.
Yeah.
So there, Flubish.
Well, thank you for that. But so I want to do this for her because I know she is a moderate. Like she's going to be so great. And I've listened to her interviews. I've seen the people she interviews say to her, you ask really, I appreciate your questions so much. Like I've seen that footage. So she's the right one for the job. And this is a great bunch of people who don't often get to talk about this in a group together.
Right.
Yeah, Brandon has joined us, I think, every year.
Yep.
Such an
and he is
important part of Trek Talks.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Judith and Garfield Reeve Stevens, not only did they write for Enterprise, they've also written several novels, including being the ghostwriter for all of Shatner's novels.
Shatner.
Yeah.
Which is why those novels are actually any good. Mike Sussman, who's a wonderful writer, and so is Phyllis Strong. This is going to be a great discussion, and I think you set Diana up perfectly for a stellar performance. It's going to be a great conversation.
And I warned her that, Billingsley might pop his head in.
Why wouldn't he?
I hope he does. I'm encouraging him to. So,
Brian from the Big Sci-Fi podcast here on the Trek Geeks Network says Phil is great, and Brandon is from his hometown of Canton, Ohio. By the way, home of the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Indeed, it is. Yeah, this is great. I've talked about it a couple of times. Having people that you don't normally see in front of the camera on to talk about their passion is one of the key parts of what we do on this telethon. So I'm very happy to see it. This just blows my mind right here.
It's about time we had some TOS representation in Trek Talks. It's not that we haven't tried before, but it gets tougher every year. And Walter Koenig has graciously agreed to come on and do a panel with the great Ian Spelling, who's a fantastic moderator, who's moderated for us before.
Who emails us and says, "Let me help. How can I help?" That's Ian. Yeah.
And Walter lives practically across the street from the Roddenberry offices, so he could do it in person at Roddenberry if he really wanted to, which is kind of cool.
He's going to.
This is fantastic. I mean, I've talked on the podcast before about how never not walk up to the people that you want to meet at conventions. I never did with Renee because I didn't want to bother him if he was busy, and now I can't do that. Walter is another one of those larger than life people. He's been in this franchise for 60 years, and it's just, you see him and it's just like, oh wow, he's getting old, and you don't want to bother him. He's got stuff he's doing, but I'll tell you what, was it last year or the year before, Bill? I mean, it was just so
2 years
unbelievable.
ago.
2 years ago. We're standing at our booth in Vegas, getting ready to pack up because it's Sunday. And who walks up to our booth and starts John with us? Walter Koenig. Just walking around, stopping in, saying hi. 5 of the most incredible minutes I think I've ever had at a convention. He just nonchalantly walked up and said hi, and like I'm sitting there with my jaw on the floor, and to have him here at the 60th anniversary to talk with Ian is just incredible.
Yeah.
I interviewed him over Zoom, and I said to him, 12-year-old Laurie was jumping up and down, just so you know. And this was a few years ago, and I said, and this age Laurie is still jumping up and down. And when we ended it, he blew me a kiss, and I was like, wow. And he did the Chekhov accent without me even asking. It was, very fun.
He's such a wonderful and warm guy. I'm excited that he's doing this, for us this weekend. I know there's going to be a huge audience for it because simply he's Walter Koenig. And I hope that everybody tunes in to see it.
I'm glad.
After
let me just say one quick thing, Bill. I'm glad you said that, Laurie. The Russian accent thing, it's always great. And what an incredible surprise cameo of his voice in Picard.
Yeah.
That was non-expected at all. So I'm glad that they brought him back for that.
Moving on, this is going to be fantastic. Starfleet Academy, very big right now. This is kind of the last hour of Trek Talks. We got Meet the Cadets with Karine Dionne and Carice Brooks talking with Cirroc Lofton. I mean, we got star power across the board here with characters who are kind of universally loved. And I can't wait for this conversation. It's going to be fantastic.
And if you look at the last 2, then you realize we have guests from every Star Trek show from the original series to Starfleet Academy. I think we have someone from every show.
That is pretty amazing.
So
unintentional.
It's a perfect thing for the 60th anniversary. Yeah. And this panel is, I know it's really sad that the show's been canceled, but there's still a season left. It still feels like the future. I think it's a great show. I'm still excited about season 2. So I want to hear from these folks because I've met them. They're fantastic.
There is still a reason to celebrate this show. We still have 10 episodes we've not seen. They have added something to the fabric of Star Trek that I think people are going to watch for years. And I may be wrong, but I don't think it's the last time we'll see them as those characters. Maybe sometime down the road, after they're already on ships, perhaps we'll see them again. I really hope we do. But for now, I think we should, give them their props and let them take a victory lap for an amazing season 1. And who better than somebody who was on Star Trek for a good chunk of his adolescence, like Sirach?
Yeah, age 14.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Incredible ties to Deep Space Nine, obviously, in Starfleet Academy. So this is incredible. I know that both of the actors that are going to be in this panel have had a lot of bullshit that they've had to deal with on social media.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I think they have both been fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And I love what they have brought to the show. And anybody who gives them a hard time can go right out the nearest airlock. I am so excited for this. And to have Sirach on is it just an extra sugar on top. That's the phrase correctly.
100%.
And he's another one that was like, absolutely, yes, whatever I can do.
Yeah.
Hollywood,
Sirach is always so kind to join us, and we love having him on. Yvette says, that's Brian, sorry. Yvette says she forgot Bob Picardo was in Prodigy, but no Space Cadets. I don't really consider that a show because it's some stupid web thing.
Also, I did say live action. I did.
And yes, Yvette is correct. These are all class acts.
Yeah.
And I am proud to have every single one of these people in the Star Trek family forever. So moving on. The last panel of the night, Dan.
Who are those guys? What's up with those guys?
Look at that handsome guy.
That's 3 good-looking men right there, I'm going to tell you. Or 2 and Dan Davidson. So I am representing the hair faction of Star Trek fandom. But yeah, Dan and I get the opportunity to chat with Paul Giamatti himself, Academy Award nominee, I think he's won a Golden Globe, Star Trek fan. Yep. He is, like us, a nerd of a certain age, and he is just so pleased to be participating in Trek Talks. He couldn't thank us enough.
Yeah, it was a dream come true. When we actually were talking about ideas, and one of the first things we always do behind the scenes when we first start talking about this year's telethon is, what do we think the biggest name that we can get is? And we've talked about, Sir Patrick Stewart before. We talked about Shatner before. We talked about all the big names. And this year, I don't remember who it was. I don't know if it was me or you, Bill. I forget. But I'm like, what about Giamatti? I mean, he's a major Hollywood player. And I didn't think for a second it was going to happen, even knowing he's as much of a Trek fan as it is. But for it all to come into play and for him to be as amazingly gracious. And this is another one where we got to call out Bob Picardo for helping, because he was able to get this to really get it running. And Laurie, you were a big help with this as well. The discussion was incredible. One of the most amazing discussions I've ever had in the 11 years that Bill and I have been doing Trek Geeks, and the 5 years that we've been doing Trek Talk. So this was a lot of fun. He's so incredible. Such a great guy.
This is one we did have to pre-tape because Paul is actually working right now.
You think?
He had a tiny window. Yeah, right. He had a tiny window in which he could do it, and so we worked around his schedule and we recorded it about 6 weeks ago. But it is still a fantastic conversation, and I hope everybody enjoys the heck out of it. I have gone back and watched it, and I'm still going to get to talk to Paul Giamatti. So.
My only regret when I look at this graphic is that I didn't ask you guys to pose exactly the same way that he is and put your faces in like that, because that would have been really good.
That would have been funny. That's all right, though.
No, that is okay. That is the slate of panels for this year's Trek Talks this Saturday, March 28th, beginning at 9:45 a.m. Pacific, 12:45 p.m. Eastern. You can watch it at trektalks.net, or if you want to chat with everybody who's involved, you can go to the Trek Talks the Telethon YouTube channel. I'm sure the links will be all over social media, whether through Trek Talks or Trek Geeks or Trek Movie or Roddenberry or Sci-Fi Sisters or whomever. But, I can't say enough about the wonderful team of people that comes together every year to organize and put on this telethon. and everybody is a huge help to the organization. You know, what started as Dan and me being in over our heads 5 years ago has become this massive group effort. And I am so excited and pleased to see it become what it has. And Laurie, you're an integral part of it now. And it's like being in the mafia. You'll never be allowed to leave.
Yeah,
that's fine. Because what you guys create, it's incredible that you actually created this. I got hooked because I was watching it and loved it and was very moved by the Hollywood Food Coalition videos and was like, okay, now I want to help. But it's you guys did that. Like, it's because you guys put on this incredible shows, and you know, you've brought all these people together. It's amazing.
I want
It blows my mind.
I want to throw out special kudos. We've talked about them a couple times tonight, but I want to give a special thanks to the hosts. JB and Bonnie put in a lot of time to be the hosts of this thing. They're always great. They're always fun. They're two incredible human beings, and I want to thank them for their contributions as well, because it's pretty intense running the show. It's kind of, I can imagine what Jerry Lewis was going through back in the day, because JB and Bonnie do that now. So whatever.
You know, Helen has a great comment, and Blake had a great one before that about being in a cult. Helen wants to see Bill and Dan disheveled and smoking at the end of the day, channeling Jerry Lewis. If we get to sing "You'll Never Walk Alone" at the end of this, I will be more than pleased. You know, that's I'm grateful to see the way that fandom has responded to this. You know, there are a million reasons why people might not donate to, you know, a food. The homeless shelter, a food shelter, whatever you want to call it, an organization like the Hollywood Food Coalition in Los Angeles. But when you look at the specific work they're doing and how they're a model for the rest of the country, it became an easy decision for us to support it.
Right.
And we're so overwhelmed that fandom has kind of followed us there. So I genuinely and sincerely hope everybody tunes in. Obviously, if you're not able to donate, everything is more expensive now. We get it. Even sharing the telethon with your friends or on social media or your family or even your enemies, share it with them. You know, the more eyes we get on this, the better. And the more we'll be able to help a fantastic organization.
Yeah, absolutely. Food insecurity is such a scary situation, especially for people that have never dealt with it. I don't think we can grasp what that's actually like if we've never had that. And it's so prevalent now, and it's becoming worse as we see what's going on in the world these days. And I think it's important that the importance of what the Hollywood Food Coalition does is it shows what other places around the country can do as well. They're a fantastic example of how to be there to help and do good. And if anything, I hope that one of the things that John talks about a lot is having this to talk about what can you do in your neighborhood.
Right.
And this helps open up the possibilities of ideas coming into people's heads of how they can help those less fortunate in their area. So that's always an end goal for us also with this thing, is to get more and more participation across the country for different areas where food insecurity is such a prevalent problem.
You know, one
We've
of the reasons.
heard about-
Okay.
Can I just say, we've heard about people who were inspired by Trek Talks to start making regular monthly donations to their local food banks, because it just made them aware of it. Sometimes you don't realize these places are around, and you could be helping people in your community if that's what you want to do.
And one of the reasons we started supporting organizations that feed people was partly because of the COVID pandemic. You know, the uncertainty that was going on then, but also because growing up, I mean, my family was using food stamps for a good number of years in the late 70s and early 80s. I'm a child of food stamps, and you know, I'm not ashamed of it, because there's nothing to be ashamed of. But I know there were nights where my parents didn't have dinner, for a fact. And it bothers me now as an adult. If there's something I can do to help, you know, some family somewhere, you know, maybe get a couple of extra meals that they might not have had, then that's really kind of what this was all born out of. So we hope everyone tunes in. We hope everybody has the ability to share. If you're able to donate, small dollar donations go a long way with the Hollywood Food Coalition. You know, $2, $5, $10. It doesn't all have to be $100, $500, $1,000. If all you can do is $10, that's $10 that's going to feed people, and that's pretty amazing. Laurie, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me. That was fun.
I hope we didn't scare you off permanently.
No, I love you guys. Come on.
And we love you back, which is amazing because, I mean, you hated us for so long.
For so long.
So long. Oh,
it was a long and arduous process.
It was a long road getting from there to here. And on that note,
thank you.
I know we're way over, so everybody, thank you for sticking with us tonight. We'll be back next week, and hopefully the audio for this will actually be out tomorrow if the producer actually gets his shit together. But for Laurie, for Dan, and of course for me, we hope everyone has a great week. Live long and prosper, and we hope to see you on Trek Talks on Saturday. Take care, everybody.